The Supreme Court invoked Article 142 of the Constitution to order the liquidation of Jet Airways in view of the peculiar and alarming circumstance that the resolution plan has not been implemented for 5 years. The court set aside the NCLAT order, which allowed the cash strapped Jet Airways ownership transfer to the successful resolution applicant without complete payment in accordance with the resolution plan. So that means Jet Airways has officially collapsed. Let us discuss more on this with my colleague here at the Federal, Giriprakash, who follows the aviation industry very closely. Giri, what are the takeaways from this?
So, number one is that the entire process of actually seeing to it that Jet Airways is revived uh, when it comes to people who wanted to actually go ahead and revive didn't actually happen. And then the other factor is that um, if you just look at the larger picture of the whole thing, it's just not about an airline. It could be any company for that matter. If it has to be revived, there are so many legal issues. There are, I mean, it goes from one court to another, and then finally to the apex court, which is the Supreme Court, and then this whole rigmarole that happens all the time leads to a situation where those who are genuinely interested in investing money and trying to revive the company, at least in India, doesn't happen. And when it comes to an airline, the government should have actually gone out of the way to make it easier for the lenders to go ahead and revive the airline, because today India is now known as a graveyard of airlines. So many airlines have collapsed, and very few actually exist. And even those who exist are not actually doing well.
Right. And in the case of Jet Airways, like, why could it not be like specifically Jet Airways? You spoke about how it is difficult for airlines to revive themselves in India generally, but in the case of Jet Airways, what exactly happened that they could not revive themselves?
I mean, there were too many, too many things that were happening around the airline. And there was this case of the promoters who were charged with embezzlement of funds, who were charged with all kinds of, there were a lot of charges against them. The founders had to go behind bars, and and then there were issues regarding. Then there were the lenders like the State Bank of India consortium, who said that they have the first right to any kind of they need to be paid first because they are the ones who had actually gone ahead and invested, who had gone and given the loan and all that stuff. And right from this beginning, it became tougher and tougher for anybody who wanted to revive the airline because of all these kind of issues.
Right. And what kind of a message does it send to the aviation industry for an airlines like Jet Airways to collapse?
Uh, I think the takeaways are that number one, the government should take the initiative to make it easier for anyone who wants to revive an airline. And number two, there must be least government interference. And number three, the uh, it's just not good for the airline industry that such that one after another airline is collapsing. There are very
Hmm.
few airlines in the country, and this will be a some kind of a how do I put it? It will set an example for a whole lot of others. For the other one, which is waiting in the wings, so to say, is
Mhm.
the Go First or the Go Air.
Mhm.
You know, it's also more or less in a situation similar to that of Jet Airways, and there are people who want to who have actually bid for it. For example, SpiceJet has bid for it, and but nothing has happened so far. And if nothing really happens, then go first will go the Jet Airways way. How many more airlines have to go down before the government wakes up to the reality and does something which makes it easier for existing airlines to do well, for those which need to be revived, so that they are revived in a manner where there are no constraints at all.